Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Lifestyle being lived here on Cape Cod. I hope you're all doing well today. I actually don't even have a topic for my listening pleasure. While I walk today, I listened to Keto Mad with his most recent podcast. This is Mike, the Mike of Keto Mad, and he was interviewing Tom Seyfried, hope I'm saying that right, from I think Boston College or Boston University. And it's pretty much a given that if you want to fuel any cancer cells that are a couple of stages above dormant, just keep feeding it the sugar. They seem to thrive on that. If you take away the sugar, they kind of go away because the healthier cells, according to this doctor, will aim for your the healthier cells will aim for whatever sugar or glycogen come into the body to send up to the brain, because the brain still likes glycogen even if you are on a keto diet making those ketones. And cancer cells do not like ketones. So a word to the wise is prevention. And how do we do that? We don't have grains that can turn into sugar. We don't have sugar that's sugar. And we don't have fruits that are sugar. So there's your lesson there. If it's the sweet that you're after, I don't know. To me, I've just gotten used to, well, red raspberries when I have them from our bush out front. But then otherwise, I don't have hankerings or cravings for things that are sweet. I'm seeking savory, fatty, rich. I'm developing a nice, I like salt now, and I never put salt on my foods before, and now I find myself loving like hunks of cucumber from my friend's garden with some salt shaked over it. Oh yeah, baby. So anyway, I'm done with my 3 shifts. I feel a little bit more human. I got my solid 8 last night. I had my walk. I am now heading out the door. I've showered and blown dry my hair. So to me, that's stepping on all the bases. My food is in. I am making a zucchini lasagna today. And I have my 1 ounce of this and 85 grams of that and a 1/4 cup of this all figured out. And when I come home, I will assemble the lasagna in the individual little things that I use. Actually, they're Bobby Flay. I got them at Kohl's. They kind of match the Fiesta ware that I also use for the quiches. And I like having my own individual container. And then I will have a salad, not as dense as when it's part of the, like a main part of the meal because of the zucchini, the lasagna. But I will have some organic baby greens that I have 2 containers of from Olivia's. And that will make me happy. And I'll put some feta cheese in it along with that Evu macadamia nut oil that I combine. And that will be a lot of my fun for the day. I still have leftover wild-caught, not frozen swordfish that I'm savoring, and I will have that for lunch, maybe with cucumber slices, not sure. But it's definitely all keto all the way, and I'm very happy about it. And I was sitting there thinking, you know that annoying Bush baked beans ad where there's the regular guy that's having the regular bush beans, and then the other side of him, that semi-dark side, is seeking it out. And I probably am the traditional beans sort of person, not eating the beans, just in how I treat my keto. I'm very traditional, I'm very structured, I'm very disciplined. I weigh and measure. I don't take for granted any part about it. And yeah, there you have it. As opposed to the other side that might be a little more daring, might seek more recipes, might go into that neighborhood of the baked goods, and it saves them. I don't know. I mean, the only keto-fied thing that I have really is the pizza, and that definitely saves me. It is a deal maker for me. So not to be talking out of both sides of my mouth, I do use the almond flour for that pizza. I've seen the cauliflower crust ones, I've seen the chicken crust ones, And to me, they're a little too labor intensive. I'd much rather have the tried and true. I take my copper pan and I warm up the mozzarella ball that I chop up, and then also the 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then I add the 1.5 cups of almond flour to that, off the heat, of course. Mix that, add the 2 eggs, mix that, pour it onto the parchment paper, and in 2 seconds I've got my crust formed and in the oven. That's a lot easier than taking that cauliflower and, dousing it and getting all the moisture out of it and so forth. So anyway, that's the fun that's happening here. I've got a little bulletproof coffee left. If the road to heaven is paved with good intentions and they count for points, then this book about the salad industry, I've got that planned for another video. I just have to watch or read it a couple of more times so I sound a little bit more than But the interesting part, as they talk about these huge, huge companies, and one of them being Chiquita, when I was growing up, I had a friend in another town. I don't even know how we would have met. It was way before internet. And so anyway, we met and we were friends, and I would spend the weekend at her house and she would spend the weekend at my house, like what typical teenage girls do, and we get all giggly and go to the teen dances and stuff. But she lived in a mansion, and her father worked for Chiquita. And I came from this naive little white bread town where, parents went to Ivy League, Seven Sisters schools, and had the charmed lives of, their parents were doctors or lawyers or highly professional, go to work in Boston with a suit and tie. And her father sold bananas, and they lived in a mansion. Well, after reading a lot of this book and seeing what a billion dollar industry Chiquita and Dole are, especially when the bag salads came in, I can see why now. But it's so funny because I always felt that the people that owned gas stations were like the millionaires next door, and probably they were, just like this banana man was. So funny. So anyway, Dole and Chiquita, when they entered into the salad bag world, this is just a primer, amazing how wealthy everybody became, and billionaires, market shares, all of that kind of stuff. It's like a who knew. You just think it's this like, okay, I pick up a bunch of bananas. I've been doing it for 30 years, but they're not making any money off of me with bananas. And as far as my salads go, I'm either buying the organic tubs from BJ's or Star or Market Basket, and they are either the BJ's home brand or Olivia's, things like that. And they are not probably Dole or Chiquita, unless those big conglomerates bought these smaller companies, which they do. And I love following the trail back. So that's what this book on the food industry is basically about. So if your curiosity is piqued, it's just fascinating. And I wish I could have a do-over of growing up and where I would have wanted my skills to send me to college and get an education. But alas, that didn't happen. Instead, I started to work for a truck company and then brought the Teamsters Union into the office, and a star was born as far as being a rebel rouser in the world of the industry of trucking. It was a good old time. So my keto foods are mostly in for the day, as I said, the swordfish, and I haven't chosen what's going next to that. I was thinking of a fried egg just because I love fried eggs, but depends what everything equals out to. But I do want the zucchini lasagna, and then I want to toss salad. So I kind of build from what's involved with dinner back to lunch and then fine tune it, which I haven't yet, but I will. So I hope that you're having a good keto-fied day. not with the baked goods, but keto-fied in the sense of your head is in the proper place. You're thinking, how can I feed myself? What can I put in my pantry, my freezer, and my fridge that will sustain me in stopping the triggers and the cravings for the sugars and the grainy carbs? Because that to me is what it's all about, along with the benefits of the keto. I was asking you to write down in another podcast about 5 things that you're grateful for that don't include the scale. And somebody put that they can cross their legs, and I never even thought of that. And wow, that is a benefit, right? Because some of us, that whole deal was like something that like we never thought could ever happen to us. And now it does. Isn't that wonderful? So, and as far as my friend goes that has started the Lipitor, she went to her heart doctor, and everything is in the range that it's supposed to be in, so she could just keep taking her Lipitor and see the doctor again in a year. So she's delighted and feels healthy. So, we feel healthy from what we do. I choose mine to be in the form of food. I love food. So, have a wonderful day, my pickles. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and comment below. I love your comments. They keep me fueled along with the fats. Bye-bye for now.